everyone. Welcome back to the next episode in our 33 Voices Lean Startup series. We're really excited you're with us today because we're here with the Director of UX at DoSomething.org, Julie Lorch. Thanks so much for joining us, Julie.
Yeah, it's great to be here.
Before we dive into your expertise on user experience, which I told you already, I'm very excited to pick your brain on, can you start out explaining how DoSomething is empowering millennials to make a meaningful difference?
Sure. So DoSomething.org is the largest organization for young people and social change in the world. Right now, we have over 3 million members, which is huge. We're really excited about that. We just hit 3 million this month. And we provide sort of simple, easy ways for young people to make impact in their community. And what we like to say, we're cause agnostic. So you can do any cause, anytime, any place, just by coming to our website and finding opportunities.
Great. How are you witnessing, especially from a user experience standpoint, millennials consuming information differently and sharing it differently?
Yeah, it's fascinating. So one of our core tenets, we really try to meet young people on the platforms where they are. So, we were one of the first nonprofits to use Snapchat, for example. We're on Kik, we're on all of these one-to-one messaging platforms. So in addition to sort of the general social media, in addition to, huge Twitter and Facebook, we're also now taking advantage of one-to-one messaging. We also have an SMS list of about 2.5 million young people.
Wow.
Huge. So, and it all started from the head of product one day saying, well, let's just send a member a text and see if they respond. It's a platform that users are, in our demo, which is 13 to 25, they're used to using, they're comfortable with it. So we have a lot of sort of games and campaigns that focus solely on SMS.
That's incredible. That's probably more text than I'm going to receive in my whole lifetime.
Oh my God, yeah.
One of my favorite things that I'm sure was driven by you is when I come to the site, you immediately ask me what I'm interested in. But the way you guys do it is so seamless and so non-pressing that I'm excited to share the information instead of trying to figure out how I can skirt around it so I can get to the site. Can you tell us about implementing that?
Sure. Are you talking just about the homepage?
Yeah, right when I come to the homepage and you ask me what I'm interested in and how much time I have.
Yeah, so this was sort of one of the big projects that we had. We actually just finished a site rebuild. We built the site from the ground up in 7 months. So we launched this year. We're stoked about it. One of the biggest things, one of the biggest changes for us in 2013 and previous years, we would run about 10 to 12 big national cause campaigns. So you could come to the site and we would be running an environmental campaign or a bullying campaign. And we really wanted to make the pivot to offer users much more choice in what they wanted to do. Young people can be finicky, they change causes, and so we wanted to meet that need. So what we did was we actually built a template where we could spin up new campaigns, in a few hours. So that this year, actually, we are launching 200 campaigns.
That is incredible.
Which is a huge jump from 12 to 200.
Yeah.
So
no comparison, really.
Yeah, so we're really close to launching just the final batch. So when you come to the site, it was critical for us to create a search mechanism that would allow users to find the right type of opportunity. And, in order to get at this, correctly, we did a ton of user testing. Through user testing and sort of straight up research, users would want to find something to do one of our campaigns based on cause, based on the amount of time they had, and the type, so what they would actually be doing. Is it a donation campaign? Is it face-to-face? Are you making something? So basically, we have this nice top bar filter. When you come to the homepage, you can sort by any of those facets, and then you get a number of tiles populated with the campaign ideas. So yeah, it took a lot of iteration and a lot of testing and learning about what this demo uses when they think about cause.
This sounds like such a silly question. I'm sure everyone who does user experience is going to chuckle at this, but you say testing. Right. What do you mean by that? Do you mean 5 tests? Do you mean 150 tests? Do you mean 100,000 tests?
So for us, it was very much it was small groups. So like we would do one-on-one sort of testing with really lightweight prototypes. So we actually used Keynote in the beginning, just no code. I would just type up like make a quick little experience, and then we'd watch one or two users go through it, and we would understand whether or not the sort of user flow made sense or not, if we were using the right words, if the types of campaigns that they were getting were relevant. So we did maybe 5 or 6 batches of this quick testing with just a couple of users, and we would make changes and then test something new and then make a change and then test something new until finally we got it to a point where we felt like it was a good enough stab at this product to launch a version. So right now we're in V1 of this. We did have some more like user acceptance testing after the launch, but now we're learning all that we can and gathering data so that we can make a really nice informed version 2, which we're going to be launching soon.
Great. So you just explained throughout both of those answers how fast the company scaled. What is it like going from 12 to 200 projects? Because like you said, it costs you to redesign the website and hire new people. What's it like being at a company that's scaling that fast?
It's just unbelievable. I mean, and the thing that's fascinating is that we've just started to work smarter. So we're roughly the same size as we were when we were working with 12 campaigns, as we are now with 200. So for us, we built everything in-house, right? So we built the website, back-end, front-end, everything, new style guide, that was all in-house. So it was a really energetic, really fun, at times really frustrating sort of race to launch this thing. But because we templatized everything, we sort of let all of the admins and all of the campaign leads create their own content on the site. So in that way, we just sort of shifted who was working on what in order to be a little bit more efficient. But yeah, DoSomething is so awesome because we're always starting something fresh. We're always meeting new challenges. Nancy Lublin, our CEO, is always pushing harder and harder for more exciting, awesome things. And so it's a great, like, really vibrant, fun, fast-paced environment. We are a not-for-profit, but it feels like a tech startup.
That's great. So I want to shift gears for a couple seconds, Julie, and talk about what it's like cultivating those design thinking skills. So you get a great idea for the website. Now what?
Yeah. So basically what we do at DoSomething, we are an incredibly cross-functional environment. So people from all different disciplines are consistently collaborating through all stages of a product build. Essentially, we start with a kickoff meeting that involves writing a number of different specs for this product. We take input from research, we take input from the content teams, we take input from tech, from design, and we kind of, at the beginning, start with an expectation that all of the teams who will be working on this product down the line will be involved from the beginning to the end. So I think one of the reasons why our pace was so fast and we were able to rebuild the site so quickly was because we were committed to this sort of cross-functional teamwork. From the UX side, we are really very closely aligned to the tech team. So, for example, we're on their sprint schedule. We share sprint retrospectives together. We are sort of like paired, just attached at the hip. And that has made it much, much easier. So, for example, I could have a great idea for something, some sort of weird new filter experience where you share this image as user generated, and I could walk over to the tech team and be like, is this possible? And they'd be like, absolutely not. So,
that's like the description of me coming up with website ideas.
Yeah. Well, it's, my best friend here is like this back-end developer who tells me no over and over and over again, because then once we get to the build phase, we've already spotted a lot of the potential problems, so we don't go so far down the line and get attached to an idea that's impossible. So that sort of cross-functional teamwork at the beginning has just been critical.
I need to do that.
Yeah.
Can you run us through those design sprints? What's it like doing them?
Yeah, definitely. So the tech team runs on like a traditional sprint system, which is they have a 2-week system. They do their planning on Mondays. They work for 2 weeks, then they have a retro at the end and start their sprints again fresh the next week. So the UX team, we started working on 2-week sprints, found that time was a little bit too long for us, so we now have 1-week sprints. Basically, we get together, it's the sort of the UX and visual team with a member or two from product. We sit together and we think, okay, what can we reasonably accomplish in this next week? And we actually have like a Kanban board posted in the office. It's just a bunch of Post-it notes. It looks like Trello because not everyone likes to use Trello. So we plan out what that looks like for the week, and we also have daily stand-ups. So we found that in order to iterate faster and in order to maintain quality of work, we needed shorter feedback loops. So actually what we do is every day at 2:00, the team, whoever is around, will stand up and have a quick impromptu review of work. So like if I'm working on a new user flow, to get people through a reg page, a visual designer can comment on that, a product person can comment on that. Similarly, if it's a new sort of header image for our blog, we can all take a stab at that too. So those short feedback loops keeps energy up for our product, and it also keeps everyone talking about what we're doing at hand, and it makes those sprints just really, really successful.
So then it's actually the daily meeting that is leading the long-term sprint, or long-term in the sense of it's longer than a daily meeting.
Pardon me? I don't think I understood.
So it's really the daily meeting that's helping you guys achieve those sprints and get everything done in the week or 2-week period.
Yeah, that's right. Because, if you're sitting on something for 3 or 4 days, you might be getting frustrated. You might be forgetting why you're making specific decisions. If you are meeting with your team every single day at a designated time, you know that you have to make these edits from the last day. You know that you have this feedback that you need to move forward. And so that sort of accountability and that institutionalized cross-functional behavior really allows us to execute quickly.
You actually wrote a lot about this in 2 recent blog posts on the site about rebuilding it and what it's been like doing those sprints. And something that really stood out to me is you said you're all about going with your gut, but you have to have a well-informed gut that's theoretically correct. First of all, I want to know where to find a gut like that.
I know.
And then next, I want to know, how do you strike the balance? When do you go with your gut?
I know, it is such a tricky... It's so tricky to sort of, give an exact definition of when.
What's an example of when you've gone with your gut and it's worked out really well?
Oh, man. Well, I don't know. I think a good example. Okay, so like the product that we were just talking about, the filter on the homepage. There was some talk about making it a sidebar. There was some talk about making it a drawer. We build everything mobile first here, so the majority of the majority of our demo is accessing our website through a mobile device or tablet. So we really have to optimize for that behavior. A search, like a faceted search on mobile is really, really tricky. And we went through just a number of iterations. But finally, my gut was to just have a really simple top bar that you could open in one fell swoop. And because we were relaunching the site, I didn't have data about like why this was going to be more successful. I didn't have data about, I only looked at maybe there were some other comps, but nothing was really standing out. So it's very hard to make a claim that like your gut is right, especially in this environment. So when I say like, something that borders on being theoretically correct, like a really good hunch, one way that we've started to sort of change the nomenclature around design, we actually have banned the words "I like" and "I love," because those skew toward opinion. So we are not allowed to say, I wouldn't be successful in that, like, please let me have a top bar if I just said like something, I just love the way the top bar looks or feels. You can't say that. You have to say the top bar is stronger because it's above the fold, because it has nice, strong real estate right there, because the white grabs your attention immediately. You have to give very clear specifics about why one solution is better than another. Because the truth is, there's a ton of smart people here, and everyone has great solutions. So it really matters the reasons why you're making these design choices.
That was literally the exact description of me. Please let me have this. I know it's going to be good.
I can't explain it, but I know that it will work. Oh, and also there are times when you just have to do that. I mean, that's the only way to get there. But
I've done it. I've used it a couple times.
Yeah.
So before we go, Julie, I want to talk about what you're going to be speaking about at the Lean Startup Conference in December. How do you let the Lean methodology inform what you do? Because you've really alluded to that so far.
Yeah, so actually the biggest thing that I'm going to be talking about is how to improve cross-functional collaboration within your team or your company, and how that can really improve and inspire new experimentation. So we're going to be talking about a few different things. One of them is about institutionalizing sort of this type of behavior through recurring scheduled meetings that the company is committed to. So this can take a number of different forms. One thing that we do here is called innovation meeting. It happens every Wednesday, and anyone from the company is invited to present an idea that they have, and then it pretty much invites collaboration and criticism and feedback from everyone else on the team, whether they're involved in that product or not. So this is awesome because it helps people to keep abreast of what everyone else is working on. It helps people to really feel a stake in products. And finally, it makes the product stronger because you get this great insight. You front load all of that. So it's awesome. Another thing I'm going to be talking about is the space and keeping a flexible physical space. This is tricky, but at DoSomething we have what's called the reaping, which happens every 6 months, which is sounds really much worse than it is. It's just a seating lot.
Sounds pretty intense.
It's really intense. I mean, it's the most stressful thing that we do. At 9:30 we have a lottery, and if you're not, you have to be there. If you miss the time when you're called, you have to wait until the end. But basically, it's a seating lottery, and you pick a new seat every 6 months, and you don't know who you'll be next to, and you don't know what's going to be.
Cool.
It's your turn. Yeah. So we mix up teams, we mix up people, and that keeps everything energetic and really fresh. The great thing about DoSomething is you could say oh, I'd really like a window seat, or I'd really like to sit near the radiator. But no
snack bar.
Yeah,
where I would sit.
But everybody is, you never hear oh, I really don't want to sit next to that person, or I really do want to sit next to this person, because the teams are just so fluid and there's so much trust. So we're going to be talking a little bit about space. And then the third point about sort of cross-functional teamwork and how to encourage it is really about how the organization deals with success and failures and how to celebrate them together. We have a number of traditions here for celebrating both success and for failure. And it helps everyone really have a stake in what's happening and sort of the outcomes of all of our processes.
You guys celebrate failures too?
Yeah.
I am going to come work there.
Oh my God, it's so
I'm
great.
jumping ship right after this. I'm going to get on the plane.
It's a great place to work, except when you're presenting how bad you messed something up, but that's still great. Yeah, we have something called Fail Fest, and so 3 or 4 employees pretty much get up and talk about something that they did extraordinarily wrong, something that they just messed up, they lost time, it didn't work, a spectacular failure, basically. One person gets up and one person tells the story and is accountable. But you talk about what you learned and what the organization learned and what you could do differently next time. So it's an amazing way to share knowledge and to be vulnerable in front of your peers, which definitely instills more and more trust. So yeah, and you have to wear a pink boa when you do it.
That's awesome. What is your best, from the last 2 years, what's been maybe this is an impossible question, but what's been your best memory at DoSomething?
There's really been a lot of great memories, over the past 2 years. I mean, we have these amazing staff retreats. in Sundance, Utah, where we spend a week and like talk about the organization and just like have a great time together. We have tons of like great parties and great social events. But I think that like the best memory was when we finally like pressed play on the new website.
That has to be amazing. I can't even imagine.
Yeah. Oh my God. Because it was just so many months of like planning and building and debugging and testing. And then finally, like when you see all of this work and ideas and you just see something like come to life, that was such just incredible team effort. That just feels really, really good. And I think that everyone in the company at that time was just so proud of what we had accomplished. And every time we have a new product release or a win or something happens, we have this giant gong, and so someone bangs it. And then like the whole office just like starts applauding, and we have an announcement and a little thing, and that was a great moment. So I would say probably that.
That one takes the cake.
That one takes a cake. Although, when we hit 3 million members, we had a pretty awesome party.
Yeah, I mean, the scope of 3 million members. Even saying it, you don't really understand how many people that is, and especially because they're younger people, the influence that you guys have is so extraordinary.
Yeah. So, in fact, we actually have an agency that we work with now. I shouldn't say that we work with, that we co-founded, called TMI. So it's an agency for corporations to learn basically how we do it. And then all of the funds from TMI also, go to do something to fund do something. I probably explained that really wrong, but it's something like that. So, so we have 3 million members. And to celebrate, one of the things we did was Nancy, our awesome CEO, she gave everyone $100 to like prank the office or like do whatever we wanted for that whole week. So, like my friend and I, we purchased a mini R2D2 that now like roams around the office. We have like a pet turtle. Someone got a barista to come like pour us coffee all day long. I mean, it's just like that was a pretty great week.
That the whole week sounds awesome.
It was great. It was a great week. We had this huge dance party. Someone got a band to play the Rocky theme. They just walked around and played Rocky and then left. Like,
so do you think, Julie, that the reason you guys are so successful is because of that culture? Because I feel like I'm going to be, if I came into the Do Something office, which hopefully I'll see you in December, it's just, you guys are having a great time.
Yeah, we're having a great time, and also a lot of really serious work is happening. So it's the two things, like our office sometimes really feels like a summer camp, but like the velocity with which we work is
crazy.
Incredible. Yeah,
it's not summer camp.
Yeah, so it's really, really fun and really, really productive. But I would say everyone who I work with is incredibly dedicated to the cause and believes in what we're doing. And so, it's just, I think that the fun is a huge part of it.
Well, we can't wait to meet you in December because I want to get in on the fun.
Yeah, that'll be great.
Before we go, can we close with you just sharing how people can get in touch with you and how they can start using DoSomething.org or tell their family about it?
Yeah, definitely. So probably the easiest way to find out about Do Something is just go to our website, which is DoSomething.org. And we're on every social media platform, so whichever one you're on, follow us or sync with us. And then anyone can contact me. I don't know the best way. Probably Twitter. That's the only thing I actually check. So it's at Julie with 2 A's, AAY.
I like it. Awesome. Thank you so much, Julie. We really appreciate it.
Definitely. It was great to talk with you. Thanks so much.